I think. Hello, everybody. Yes, it is. It is me, Steve Molloy, with Real Talk Fins Talk. I know I've been off the grid for a little while, but I've been dealing with some business relocating to another place here in Texas. Haven't moved out of Texas, just moved in another location. So I've been dealing with that. I kind of been out of the loop, I'll be honest with y'all. But I got my man here, Curtis from Ace Per Head, joining me tonight. He's gonna reel me in. He's gonna keep me kind of keep.
I don't know about that, Steve. I'm in the hopium spin zone, dude.
Hey, man, that's okay with me. I feel the same way. I'm really feeling good about this up and coming year with the Miami Dolphins football team. But first, I want to thank everybody for joining the show tonight. I really do appreciate it. Being patient out there with the show, Real Talk Fins Talk. And just make sure you hit that like button to get me back on the right track. Hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that little bell down there. Subscribe, share with your friends, your families, and your neighbors. And before we do get started in the nuts and bolts, we do have some news. We do have some news. And I like it, and I know you like it, Curtis. I watched some of your Ace Per Head show the other day, and I know you're enjoying this too.
Oh yeah,
Jordyn Brooks, linebacker for the Miami Dolphins, signed a 3-year, $51.3 million extension with $35 million guaranteed. So he's going to be with us for another 3 years, along with the rookie that we drafted, Jacob Rodriguez. So I'm real happy about that. It's going to be interesting to see how those two work together on the field. I know Jacob Rodriguez made some compliments about Jordyn Brooks. So I think he's kind of looking at it as a positive too for him, for his development and for the play on defense, because we needed a leader like Jordyn Brooks on that defense. So I'm happy about that as well. I know you are too, Curtis. What say you? What can you say about that?
Sometimes you live in a pile of poop or a cesspool for a very long time, and then suddenly, like Cinderella, you get whisked away and you wake up in the Imperial Palace. Listen, Brooks admires Rodriguez. Rodriguez admires Brooks. Dotson admires Rodriguez. You not only have a very talented linebacker that you drafted, you have a veteran who is all about getting this rookie to be his best, both Dotson and Brooks. The three guys combined in a zone defense, which is huge for them. I broke down numbers, and Dotson struggled a few years in man. He struggled with us in man. He is a zone linebacker, and then so is Brooks, and so is Rodriguez. These three guys in a cycle that we're in right now, play action and running the football in a zone defense. The linebackers are the most critical pieces. This is great. And I've been the Grinch for years, and it feels weird to say all this positive stuff, but I'm not saying it for anything other than what I've been saying for years and what everything is saying, the numbers, the information. This is so positive for us not to wash out. We can't wash out. I mean, we can and still be good, but if we can get a successful season in this first season with all this dead cap, it is real go juice, a great foundation, and we need it, Steve. We need it, and I believe that we're headed in a great direction.
Yeah, 100%, and that's why I'm positive. I'm really feeling good about the season. Look, I don't expect the Miami Dolphins to go to the playoffs or anything like that, or Super Bowl bound. That's not even in the picture. But as you said, we are developing a culture here, a foundation that we can, work off of and do better things in the near future, in the next year, 2 years. I think we're going to be where this team should have been 3, 4, 5 years ago, right? So, or even longer if you go back, to we've in 25 years we haven't won a playoff game. So,
Gosh.
uh,
There's just look, Steve, there's so much stuff that is coalescing. Now, I'm not saying it is, but on the face of it, there's just so much stuff. Look, we had the Greer. Now, he brought us Brooks, he brought us Achane, but he did a lot of stupid stuff. He implemented a very foolish system. Everything we've got right now fits the NFL cycle sweet spot. We've got leadership that is accentuating the moves and the talent and even the scheme and the philosophy to be in that. We have lived in Marino's shadow, and the idea we could create that offense again. And it would have worked in fumble era, but we never got the right pieces. But that fumble era was dying in 2020, 2019, and fully died in 21, 22.
Right.
We're in the cycle. Bringing a guy like Proctor, a commitment to running the football, going out and drafting the way we did on the face of it, keeping certain players that, all the guys would have might have allowed them to earn free agency. It's hard to explain, but when you go through the data and the information and the trends, at the very least, we have leadership that put us in a philosophical position to win. And that, to me, I bought a little bit of it in Parcells, and I bought a little bit back with Jimmy Johnson, but there was a lot of stuff that did not fit. This is the right crew at the right time. We'll see if they make the right moves.
100%. And here's the thing too. You said it. You said the magic word, fit. They drafted players that fit their philosophy, that fit the culture that they're trying to create, and which I think partly have done that. And they also are bringing in players that are, as you said, the scheme are going to fit the scheme. Yep. They're not bringing in players and trying to plug them into a square peg. A circle.
It's not a rotisserie team draft.
It's not a rotisserie team grab. You said that perfectly. Exactly. We are getting players that are going to fit not only the physicality part, but the mental aspect of the game as well. In the culture.
Hungry, smart, character guys.
Yep, hungry, smart character guys, and that to me. Well, let's go. What did Sully said? He said he wasn't going to draft guys just because of their pedigree or because of their status in the college leagues, right? He said, I'm going to bring guys in here that are going to be players, guys that are going to fit this scheme, guys that, as we've been talking about, that fit that mold, that fit the philosophy that they're trying to create, the physicality, all of that. And that's what they did. They went out and they drafted those type of players, character guys, as you said. And not only that, but I also like what they did, Curtis, in keeping guys that have proven themselves, like Achane. Achane is coming back, and you said it. The other guy that was here, the other JM was here, might have let him walk. Oh no, go ahead. You try to,
earn free agency.
Yeah. You're go ahead and earn free agency. You earn free agency. Test the market, that kind of stuff. But they kept Aaron Brewer, the center. I know you're not as high on him as some folks are, but he is one of the best centers in the league.
Oh yeah. For me, with Aaron Brewer, I've always said he's got a very specific skill set. He's excellent in certain areas, and he struggles in other areas. Yeah. And I said for years, if you flank him by powerful guards, then he'll be free to go use his skill set the best way he can. He does struggle with power. He's small, but the guy moves like nobody else. He's a great character guy. He puts blasts guys on the move. But to me, I preferred Connor Williams. But we don't have Connor Williams. And you're not getting a good center. So you had to go this route if you wanted to be successful this year. So, it's not that but anyway.
Yeah.
Because people they for some reason, like when I say he can't handle power, that's his general understanding. Like that's
right.
It is what it is. But
it is.
Yeah,
it is.
Anyway,
but then if you got guys like maybe, and of course I'm speculating here, but maybe a Caden Proctor, maybe he comes into his own. Maybe he's a little better. Maybe he becomes maybe he's better than average, better than what we think he's going to be. Or what we would like him to be. And then that's one way that you can fix that. And then you've got Jonah Savaiinaea. Now he's not playing that left side anymore. He's playing the right side. Okay. Can he make those corrections from last year?
That's going to be huge
that you mentioned, that we talked about last year. Look, he was the worst guard in football last year. The worst. Okay. If he can at least if he can become average.
Oh, that would be huge.
That would be a huge step for him. And
I like Salyer behind him. I think
me too.
If he doesn't meet expectations, you got Salyer at least. So
yeah. And he's a veteran. He's been a backup. Has he started? Do you recall?
Oh yeah, his rookie season, he had a phenomenal left tackle. He's, for me, in my evaluation, he's better on the left side. But then they got Slater, and then they started moving him all over the place.
Right.
But he had a very good rookie season.
Okay, but that, as you said, we got him in our back pocket, right? So maybe he steps up. Maybe he beats out Savaiinaea.
I'm hoping he beats out Jackson. I'm hoping Savaiinaea can be average, and then if Jackson falters or gets injured, Salyer can step into that position. That would be if Savaiinaea can play average. I think Salyer could definitely help the right side if Jackson doesn't do it. And you would have a very nice, probably the best offensive line. We probably might already have the best offensive line if Savaiinaea is average than we've had since the incognito years.
That would be interesting. That's going to see, those are some expectations are that I expect in training camp this year. We need to see Savaiinaea step up. Okay. And if he doesn't, who's going to go in his place? Is it Salyer? I don't know. We know what Jackson is. We know what Brewer is. We know what Patrick Paul. We know what Patrick Paul is already. The guys we don't know are Proctor and what if Savaiinaea can step up, to
and Will Kasmarek. I love the addition.
Yes, I love that
big addition.
I know a lot of folks are saying, "Oh, he's not, he can't catch." Blah blah blah. He wasn't utilized as a pass catching tight end in Notre Dame. He was used as a blocking tight end, and in fact, he was the best blocking tight end, or rated as the best blocking tight end in college. So even if he can be a better than average or average blocker on our team as a tight end, I think he can be better than the last tight end we had on the team. Not Smith, not
Durham Smythe.
Durham Smythe.
Oh, he's way better than Durham Smythe.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, a lot of folks used to praise Durham Smythe on his, on his blocking ability. If he can be just as good or better than him as a rookie, then we've got something in him.
I don't usually make too many. I think he'll be the best blocking tight end we've had in a long, long time by a country mile. If you just watch the way he gets into guys, he's physical. Right. He uses his hands. He's also big. He's 260.
Yeah, he's a big man. He's a big man. And don't let him fool you. He can catch the ball.
Oh yeah,
he can catch the football. Okay. So if we can get that type of ability out of him of blocking and going out, and we already got a pass catching tight end in Dulcich, right? We got a pass catching tight end in him.
Yeah.
So all we need him to do is come in, do his thing, block, and if he catches a few balls, that's a bonus. So I'm very happy with that pick in the draft.
I wasn't happy when we drafted him. I was like, what? But then when I started looking into the guy,
yeah, me too.
Like,
me too.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah, I did a little research, not in depth, but a little research on him and read up on him and his profile and stuff. And I'm like saying, you know what? That's just what the doctor ordered because we needed a guy like him on the team. Physical, can block, and he can catch the ball. Okay, he can catch the ball. He wasn't utilized like that in the team that he was with.
If you look at Barnum from Seattle, Barnum's got a little bit more mobility, but Kaczmarek is a little bit faster, better run blocker. He's not going to be Barnum, but what I think he brings to the table, attaching him to like Paul next to Proctor and Brewer, and drawing the play action and working off the play action, I think it's extremely invaluable.
Yeah, that's a great point. It really is. That is a real good point. And then let's switch over to the defense a little bit. I'll start with you, Curtis. What are your expectations on the defensive side of the ball? We can start with the defensive line.
Well, look, we moved to one gap. That's shooting defense. Last year, we had two gap and one gap with a lot of man. We're in one gap attack with zone coverage. Zone coverage, so one gap will help Kenneth Grant a lot. He struggles with power. He's good at shooting. Chop does the same. You're going to be able to use Jordan Phillips in the middle to play that maybe two gap anchor because sometimes you mix your fronts up techniques. But that's going to also allow the linebackers because Brooks does struggle. Dotson does struggle with attack, stack, and shed. And when you had two gap, it was their job to occupy. But now you got shooting, you got controlled chaos. And then you got behind you got zone coverage. And in zone, it's a lot easier for guys to find jobs. When you're playing man, you've got to be on point. You've got to be a stellar talent. Look at Flores. He was dying when he didn't have the two cornerbacks. So there's roles that you can be able to do. Our linebackers play excellent zone coverage. It's not going to be the Flores destroy them kind of defense. It's going to be, bend but don't break. But Handley does some very smart stuff. I was doing a very good study on it. And so I just like what his scheme is and how it fits with the talent we have. I think Phillips, Grant, Biggers, and Sealer, they're going to find and Gay at linebacker. I think very underrated piece because he can come up. Hafley loves that. He'll call the 50 front, five guys in the front. He'll bring that linebacker up or call a 40 with the linebacker on edge. And sometimes he blitzes, sometimes he drops. But Gay can do all that. That guy's a beast. And that's another linebacker where you got to add into the equation. I mean, you got Brooks, Dotson, Rodriguez, Gay, and then you got Lewis. Kyle Lewis over there.
Kyle Lewis,
who could be something very good too. And so Hafley is very creative within his zone coverage. So I just think there's an opportunity for this defense. I don't think it's going to be great. There's just too many rookies. There's too many young guys. There's too much learning. But if they can be coherent and backed by a run offense that keeps them on this benches enough, then they can be good enough and then maybe gel at the back end of the season to get that 5, 7, 6, 7, or 8 wins, or maybe more.
Yeah, and I want to see Kenneth Grant flourish a little more as well. I think he had a rough start. That's a guy that I'm going to keep watch on in on the defense side anyway in training camp. But my expectations is I expect him to flourish as you just mentioned in this type of defense with Hafley. So I think he might, if he can step up if he can step up a notch, I and then you got a good rotation there with Jordan Phillips, Biggers. I know he came in late in the year, but he did really well, even though with his late start.
Did you see the way he looks now? He dropped like 15 pounds. He looks chiseled. That's the one thing that does. Because I like to be on, like, keep it real.
Right.
Look, Jordan Phillips and Biggers, they made real changes from their rookie season to their sophomore season on their body. Grant still kind of looked the same. He said, after camp, I got to drop another 15 pounds. That does bother me. It does make me a little concerned. But if you got him in the one gap and he's shooting, he might be a slow developer. But he's got something you can't grow into, and that's the get off on the ball and the finesse, agility. Yeah.
For his size, he's very athletic.
I just didn't like that he says, now I got to learn. I got to still lose 15 pounds. Like, you had all that time in between.
You had all off season to do that. I agree. But we'll see. He's a guy that now remember, Christian Wilkins took time to develop too. It took he didn't really come to his own until like 3 years. After 3 years,
100%.
So he's a young kid, young guy. He could still be developing. He turns out to be a Chris Wilkins. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
hopefully not all the way with all the problems he had with the Raiders.
Yeah. For sure.
We don't talk about that.
I don't even know if he's playing. Is he still playing?
No.
He's out of football now.
I think he tried to make some kind of comeback or something.
Oh, okay.
Went like a Led Zeppelin.
Exactly. So we talked about the defensive line. We got I know we got what's his name, Ron Conga, something like that. He's supposed to be the
UDFA D tackle, right?
UDF, he's supposed to be a sleeper. So we'll see.
He's a little small though. He's like 290. I don't know. I got to watch the film.
I think he's 298.
Yeah, he's a little small. I mean, it works though in a one gap. So we got to see. That's definitely a wild card, though, 100%.
Yeah, he is definitely a wild card for sure. But those are some things to watch out for in training camp as well. I think the real competition is going to come in that backfield, the defensive backfield, the defensive backs and cornerbacks. I mean, we've got I don't know how many we have right now, but you've got Storm Duck, you've got what's his name? I'm going to mess up his name. Connor Bonner. Yeah, I forgot. You mixed me up with that name, man. But anyway, we got him back there. Then we've got Chris Johnson that we drafted high up in the draft. A lot now. I've gotten.
Juju Brents is a big one, but he can't stay healthy.
Juju Brents. He's another guy.
Really big. If he could stay healthy, look, if he could stay healthy, it would flip the evaluations and the prognostications of what this secondary is at. It's just a likelihood it hasn't been hot to try.
Yeah,
and I like Marshall. I like Marshall in the system.
Yes, Marshall as well
in zone coverage.
Marshall. Yeah, he's another guy, that I.
And then you got Chris Johnson too. You got Chris Johnson. We drafted.
Yeah,
I like him a lot too. There's potential there.
There is potential. There's been mixed
potential, but it's there.
Yeah, there's been some mixed reviews on Chris Johnson. I know. I think it was Alan Poupard. Not to mention any names, but it was Alan Poupard. He mentioned that he when he was at camp, or rookie camp and all that, he was looking at Chris Johnson. He's a little on the small side, and they were kind of working with him on basic fundamentals and things like that. Well, to me, that's a good sign if they're working on fundamentals and basics with him. A rookie, that's something that we haven't experienced in a while, was development of rookie players.
Yeah, but it depends, because that kind of conversation has to be a little nuanced. So Chris Johnson was being given multiple roles. He was given some safety roles. He was given nickel roles. He was given boundary roles. And so if he was working on fundamentals like footwork, but there's also positioning and drops and shading, and that changes from system to system and position by position. So if it was the raw fundamentals, yeah, that would be concerning. But if it's specifically tailored to position and scheme kind of fundamentals, I don't think that's that big a deal.
Yeah,
because he even said they said they threw everything at him, where other guys, they were just tailoring him to very specific roles. Right. And so that, I'm not saying it's not a big deal, but he had a lot to learn, and then he's adjusting to a new scheme. So it depends on the exact fundamentals and techniques that he was being trained in before I would get concerned. I'd have to, see exactly what they were.
Exactly. And that's another thing that we need to watch out for in training camp as well. And you know what? Look, training camp is training camp for a reason, right? It's everybody learning, everybody getting on point, everybody going through the fundamentals, the basics. We're really, I guess, in training camp, look, there's some players that practice better than other players. There's some players that practice like it's a game, and then there's some players that don't practice like it's a game.
Marino was like that. Remember Marino during the preseason games? I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, he looked terrible.
5 picks. Oh, yeah, he was like, oh.
Yeah, he looked terrible. But then, you get him in real-time games, and he's a totally different person. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm not going to be too concerned until our first game of the season. Then we'll get even the third or fourth game of the season. We're going to get a better feel, a better picture of how these guys are going to, how they're going to.
Well, there's no doubt with all these new pieces, this new scheme, new staff, and all these rookies, there's going to be rookie blues. There's going to be learning curve. Yes. There's no doubt. Yes. I mean, there's certain things within zone coverage that makes it a little bit, more palatable and easier to digest. But you're going to have heavy rookie blues with all the guys they expecting to play that are young, whether it's 1 year or 2 year,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I that's why my expectations are not very high, but I think they're going to play better than just my opinion. I think they're going to play better than what we expect. I really do. I don't know why. I just have that feeling. I have a good feeling, good, warm and fuzzy inside. That, and that's something I haven't had with this team in a while.
Gosh.
And so, and I know you feel the same way, Curtis.
Oh, 100%.
Realistically, as you said, maybe 5, 6, 7 games is realistic. I don't see them. I don't see them winning 2 or 3.
It's a big outlier. It's a big outlier.
Yeah. I mean, they, because they do have pieces in place. It's not like they don't have pieces.
Well, ask yourself
positions.
Last year we had I think it was a 0.480 strength of schedule. Okay, that's done by the end of the season. Now I think it's some are saying 5.24, some are saying 0.54. Okay, but you look at last year's team. Is this team really that much worse? I mean, look, Tua in his prime, he did more than Willis, but he hasn't been there for 2 years. So Ewers looked as good as Tua last year, and then you got Willis. Your offensive line, you had Savani, who was the worst guard in the league, and the strange one at right guard. Now you got Proctor, and you got Salyer backing him up. And then you got Paul, another year of growth. And then you got Kasmarek. To me, look, on offense, the only big thing that I think we're missing is Waddle. But in the scheme we run, it's not as critical. We run. I don't want to go into it too long, but we run like the Green Bay Packers, and that piece, it would help. Don't get me wrong, but it's not as critical. And I think that this offense has more potential than last year. For I don't want to go on for a while, but I'm not gonna say it. But then on defense, Chubb, okay, he was pretty decent last year, but is it that big of a loss? I don't think so.
Right. Yeah.
Ramsey was gone early. Jonnu was gone early. Minka's a loss, but how big a loss? And then who else are we missing from last year? That really is that big a deal?
Good question.
I mean, I love we added Uche. Uche to me.
Uche, he's another one that I think might
Oh
be
yeah.
I mean, he's played some good, some good football with New England.
Oh yeah, and he's in a system that's gonna work for him. It's going to be roles that he can handle. He's not going to be expected for long snaps. He could stop the run. He's had excellent seasons of coverage. So to me, really, it's not. We're not that far. Now we were on a good team last year, and the schedule was a little bit easier. This schedule is harder, but we still pulled 7 wins out with a team that was really kind of like. Not quitting, but they were all over the place. They all knew it was all over, and the psyche was already breaking from the start of the season. I think you got. I think this is an equal team to last year. I mean, Hill would have been different. He was gone by week 4, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. He was gone pretty early, but you're right. You're right. I didn't really think of it that way. It's really, I would say it's maybe about equal to last year's team. And how many did we win last year? 7 or 8.
So I can't remember.
No, 7. Yeah, it was 7. We were 7-10, and it's just a different atmosphere down there right now. It's a different team. It's a different scheme. Everything is different. A different quarterback. I mean, this quarterback. I'm not saying he's a Tua Tagovailoa or any other quarterback, but geez, he's very dynamic. I mean, that adds another dimension to this offense. Not only do you have to look out for Achane or Ollie Gordon or Jalen Wright, now you've got to deal with the quarterback rolling out, and is he going to run or is he going to throw?
Yep.
And Malik Willis can throw on the run.
Yeah,
he can throw on the run.
And when does Christian Bell come back? That's a big piece too. That could really offset.
Chris Bell. That's right. I forgot to mention him. They did put him on the. I
don't know. Do you think he's coming back? Do you think he's coming back at any point?
I think he can come back. After 6 games. Yeah, after 6 games, I think is the rule. So I don't know. I mean, it's a good sign that he wasn't put on the physically unable to play, list or whatever. So I mean, he's got more time to rehab and work out and things like that. And I'm sure they're going to keep him in the loop. He's going to study. If I know Sully and Halfley, I'm pretty sure they're going to keep him, watching the games, going over tape, all that stuff, and working him out and rehabbing, keeping him on track. I mean, I could see him coming back in, mid-season.
That'd be a big lift.
You know what I mean? So we'll see. I mean, that's another guy I'd like. I'm really interested in seeing him. Physical player like that.
And then Caleb Douglas too.
And Caleb Douglas. And look at him. You mentioned on your podcast, Ace Per Head. He was working out with some of the best.
Yeah, Chase and
Jamar Chase. And I forgot the other guy.
Yeah.
But anyway, he was working out with some of the best wide receivers in football. I mean, that's a good sign that he's trying to get better, improve, and get a little mentorship from these guys as a rookie. So, I mean, you don't see that too much in rookies, And he's a big guy too as far as height. He's what, 6'2", I think?
6'4".
Oh, he's 6'4". There you go.
Yeah.
So when was the last time we had a 6'4" wide
and he
receiver?
blocks. That's the big thing. He blocks really well, or he's a committed blocker. That's a big piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, that's something we haven't had in a while. I mean, Waddle was a good wide receiver, and so was Hill, but they weren't very committed to blocking. So that's
no. But also the scheme wasn't really conducive for it.
That's true too. That's true.
Like I was breaking down how Green Bay utilizes their receivers to block, and they use small guys, man, and they get it. They draw it up very, very nice. There's an opportunity for Malik Washington and Coleman.
Yeah.
And Douglas. They actually bring these small guys in, like almost like a wide tight end. They come in and flex them in, and then they ask them to do some Simon said, like, whoa, but they angle it the way they design it, that it's just like, okay, chip over here. I'm going to set confusion. They do some I don't know. Now that's LaFleur. I don't know if Slowick is going to be LaFleur, but there is potential that you could utilize these guys in ways that are not exactly standard.
Yeah. And each one offers a different skill set, right? I definitely like Malik Washington. I mean, he's physical, he's fast, he's shifty, and he can catch the ball. I mean, look at him last year. He did real well, and that's another guy that I think is going to see a lot of playing time this year. I really do, and I can't wait to see him. I mean, he's a good kick returner, punt returner, and all that stuff too. So great utility guy. Good run after the catch.
We got two Atwell at 160 pounds. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think he's going to be more like a gimmick type player. You know what I mean? They'll use him. They'll utilize him. I mean,
man.
He is small. He is small. Well, Taj Washington was small too. Is small too, right? He's at like 170 pounds, 5'8", 5'9", or something like that.
Who's that? Who? I'm sorry.
Taj Washington.
Yeah, he's like that. Yeah, he's like, I think he's like,
he's a small guy too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'm sure they'll fit him in there somewhere. I mean, he's played in the league for some years. He hasn't done too bad. He's good. Straight line kind of right. Wide receiver. He's pretty fast. I'm sure they'll fit him in there somehow, but we'll see. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it will be look, there's going to be a lot of, not everything's going to work. Not all these picks are going to hit. You're going to, it's the percentage of things that work, that's going to be the core of it. Because there's going to be guys that fail. You just don't want your big picks to fail. You don't want a high percentage of guys to fail. But, there's going to be guys that fail. It has to be. Right? I mean, if it's not, then we're going to be like Super Bowl bound, which I don't mind. I'm not going to complain about that. Trust me.
Yeah. If three or four of those picks stick and are starters and do well, and
that's a very good draft.
That's a great
a couple of guys that are draft. Just average backups. That would be very good.
That would be an excellent draft, better than we've had in a while, right?
Oh yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it, Curtis. I really am.
So who do you think's gonna? If you had to pick guys, that you think will definitely make it, who would you pick?
As far as the rookies go?
Yeah.
Well, I think Chris Johnson's definitely going to stick. I think Jacob Rodriguez is going to be a day one starter. Those are two day one starters right there. Of course, Caden Proctor, the day one starter. Caleb Douglas, don't know if he's going to be a starter or not, but I'm sure he's going to be in the rotation. Maybe Coleman. Maybe Coleman makes it as a rotational player. Then you got who else did we get? Kyle Lewis. He might be a piece, I
think he will be. I think he'll be at least a situational. And Kaz Marek, I think he makes it.
Oh yes, for sure. Kaz Marek will definitely be maybe not a starter or listed as a starter, but he's going to play a big chunk of the time.
Reps.
Yeah, he's going to play a big chunk of the time, and I think Kyle Lewis will get some snaps here and there. Come in as safety or even linebacker or whatever. Those are the guys that I think are probably for sure bets to be either starters or rotational or situational type players right there.
Yeah. Big Toes was asking who's lining up weak side LB, SSLB, and Mike.
Oh wow.
I think it's going to be situational. I think that I've done some studies on it. So basically, Hafley runs zone coverage, but he had the highest of split field coverage, where he would have cover 3 on one side and cover 2 on the other side. and he has a huge amount of Tampa zone in his repertoire. So, like, let's say it's a two-way go down. You might have Dotson, you would have Brooks, and you have Rodriguez. I would say it's hard to say. Like, for me, Dotson might play weak side, and Rodriguez is going to be Mike, and I think he'll be the Mike.
Yeah,
and you might have Dotson on the strong side. You might have Brooks on the weak side because he tends to blitz better. But then if you're in your like nickel look and it's a pass down where it's more accentuated towards the pass, I think you'll see Brooks, Rodriguez, and then Lewis coming in as that money nickel guy. So I can see that. I think it's going to be situational because I think if you're going to really have a Tampa 2 coverage, that high linebacker over the middle is going to be Rodriguez. I think he would fit there the best with then obviously Brooks. Dotson can cover, but sometimes he gets exposed. I think he's more of like a utility guy or maybe that 3 LB look. But you can bring Brooks up to the line of scrimmage because Hafley likes to do that too in a 40 look with the 4 guys down. So I think that when you see Hafley, it's going to be very situational. But if you were to look at it, Lewis is the guy that's going to cover the tight ends and be that safety money guy. Rodriguez is the all-around guy, probably going to eventually be the signal caller, if not the signal caller. Brooks can blitz. He can run stop. His zone coverage is good, but not super elite. But I think it's better than Dotson, who's kind of like a hybrid, pretty good at all those things, breather. If you just want that big 3 look in your linebacker and like say a run, maybe 2-way go down. So I think it depends. I don't think there's going to be a one guy for each spot. I think it depends on the personnel, the setting, and then the play call. But I would say the primaries are probably going to be Brooks and Rodriguez. And then I think Lewis is going to get some real looks in time. And probably I think Dotson will be that lower end piece ultimately. But it might take Lewis some time. But that's what I would say.
Interesting. I definitely could see that. Jacob Rodriguez, man, he's kind of he flies all over the place. He attacks. He doesn't wait for the running back or whomever has the ball come to him. He goes to them.
Yep.
He attacks. And I like that. And he played quarterback. At one time. So he has those instincts as well. So I think it was a great he's one of the best linebackers in college, and played for Texas. And I like him. I really do. And I think you're spot on that assessment.
Well, I'm just my guess. We'll see ultimately. I mean, because you got Gay in there too. You can't forget about
William Gay.
We forgot. Weaver couldn't figure it out. He couldn't get it in there. Whatever. I don't know why. But this guy was a major player. He's back in a role that he could be utilized with. He can set the edge. He could blitz. He can come inside, outside. He can drop if you give him the right zone coverage. A lot of these guys didn't work out because we had a lot of it's hard to understand. Like, we had zone coverage, but there were a lot of man responsibilities. We were one of the higher teams in the league with man responsibilities. And sometimes you see Brooks, Dotson, or even Gay when he came in, and they were forced to do things but what we got going here now, it's far more conducive for these guys. And in Hafley's system, in the current cycle, the sweet spot cycle of play action, second down play action critically, and zone coverage, those linebackers and that money safety, those are the hardest guys. They're going to be given the roles to create the masking and the uncertainty and dropping into that middle area. So it's a big deal, but we've got a load of talent, and Hafley is very creative. And he even talked about, hey, look, I had a defense last year, but it was a personnel like that had certain skill sets. I've got to retool everything based on my talent here. And I just really like what we can do. I think it's going to come down to the run defense. If we don't stop the run, it's going to be major problems. I've boiled the season down, and we talked beforehand. It's going to be rushing attempts, It's going to be second down, play action, EPA, and run defense. I did the studies. We talked about it. 11 teams were able to be in top 20, not top 10, not top 5, top 20. All of those teams had 8+ wins, and 9 of those teams made the postseason. Play action is so critical. There's more big chunk yardage per reception through play action than straight passing now. It's so critical on a broader note that I can't really express here, but it's that play action. And what we did in this offseason and what Hafley does is a great potential to curtail that. And a lot of teams don't have the talent and the potentiality that we have with Brooks, Rodriguez, Dotson, Gay, and Lewis, among some other guys that might step up. So I think there's just a lot that goes into the eval. But we've attacked the sweet spot of this particular cycle on offense and defense. We'll see if the attack hits, but I just believe there's great potential here. And it's not just – it is a little hopium and excitement, but I think it's also based on just my studies, voracious amount of studies, and what I've seen from the cycle for all these years. I just really feel it, Steve. I do. Not Super Bowl, not playoffs, but in a situation where we have historic dead cap, we have vast amount of new guys, and we're expected to win 1, 2, 3, 4 games. I think we're going to outperform that. I think it's going to be a season of holding your head up, saying we overachieved. We did more than what was expected. Almost like Flores in 2019, although it's not the same, but that kind of style.
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to be a more physical team. I think we're going to play to the end of the game. I don't think you're going to see anybody quitting on this coaching staff. I think they're going to surprise a lot of teams. They're going to come out and they're going to say, "Oh man, these guys are better than I expected." And I think they're really, even the rookies, I think they're going to play a lot better than what I even expect. I really do.
Big Toes had one thing. He said we've been rushing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would disagree, Big Toes, because if you look at our rushing, we'll go 23 was one of the big seasons.
Yeah.
Almost all our yards, 60% of our yards were on first down. Yeah, Mostert had those big 18 touchdowns or whatever, but we couldn't run the football inside. We couldn't run on second down. We couldn't run on third down. And most importantly, we couldn't affect the defense. The defense, if you go back to those seasons, especially 24 and 25, but he wasn't here during that, you would see the linebackers, they would react. They would never step up. They would never man the interior, the A and B gap. They would man and shoot on the outsides for the swing past the screen and the outside runs. And so we had a very good talent, and we had some pieces. I mean, I thought Connor and Hunt did a very good job.
Yes, they did.
Together, but you had huge gaps at left guard, right guard, and tackle. And it was more of, in my opinion, smokescreen than actual where it really counts to run the football. So it'd be my defense to that.
Yeah, it was a lot of smoke and mirrors. It really was, Let me ask you this, Curtis, and I know you've done some film breakdown on Malik Willis, or at least you've watched some film on Malik Willis. What are your expectations in him this year? How do you see him in this offense? What is he going to offer?
Well, I mean, look, just from something very basic. So I did a podcast on this, and I really spent a lot of time on this. So look how we've designed ourselves. So you got Brewer, who I think he struggles with power, but he's not like, a wet noodle. He gets to the second level. But then you got Proctor. And Proctor's size, power, bend, he is going to be good in the run blocking. Maybe he'll have some issues or whatever. I think overall he'll be above average. But the ability to get that push, to make sure Brewer's not attached in doubles. Then you put him next to Paul, who's a very big guy, struggles when guys are in front of him sometimes. because he doesn't have the same bend as Proctor. But when you got him on the slant and the crash, he races guys. And then you got Kasmarek, but that's the left side. So then you got a right-handed quarterback, and when you run your play action left, you boot out to your right if you want to roll out play action, which is to his strong side. But you're also going to have two problems with Proctor in the interior. Because of his power, you're going to have to respect that A and B gap. And so what they would always do is hedge the exterior. And so you're going to have multiple problems. You're going to have, well, maybe we're going to stretch out wide to keep Achane from breaking the big score. But then you're going to have Proctor erase guys. And then you're going to have Paul getting his crashes and washes, which is his strength. And then you're going to open the interior for the cutbacks, the counters, the outside zone comebacks, and then you're going to have a problem. Well, do we take care of the outside? Do we man the inside? But then you got your play action, and when you run it to the left while you have a weakness on your right side, maybe you're going to have to take care of that back end, because you can run your play actions and your receivers can come and do a crosser to the opposite side. And then you're going to have your back end pursuit to hold its ground to respect the run from Willis. But then if he respects the run from Willis, he's creating gaps in the coverage on the backside. And so there is a whole, I'm going to use the word big because I went to college, plethora of opportunities based on this strong left side, the ability to affect the A and B gap in the run game. And then you have the fear of Achane. You got to respect that because he can go crack it and go for the run. But then you add in Ollie, who you can, someone had mentioned earlier, 22. You can come 22, where Ollie can be a blocker. You can stretch Achane out. You come out and you're 22. You're looking like run. Achane, who's proved he has an increased route tree to then go stretch out wide. And now you've got whether it's 11 personnel or 12 personnel, you came out in 22, but now you're in maybe a 3 wide receiver, and you still got to deal with Ollie coming inside and banging you. And one last little bit, I did a very interesting study. It wasn't my study, it was somebody else. I added to it. People don't understand, and I didn't.
Let me interrupt you a minute. I got to connect up. My battery's running out. Hold on.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, go ahead. Keep talking.
Keep going. So what I didn't understand, because I'm a football snob and I don't pay attention to special teams. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's very brilliant. He had a show and he talked about how the new kickoff rules, we used to start on the 22. Now we start on the 31, and he broke the numbers down. All it takes is one chunk play on your first three downs, and it's 62% chance to score. Because of this 10-yard cushion you're starting with, if you get one chunk play in your first 6 plays, it's 80% chance to score. And so Achane was number one in big plays, number one in chunk plays, and he was pinned down to only being able to run outside. What can he do to this? There's so much opportunity that comes out because of this kickoff rule. And because you have a guy like Achane, and because you have a diverse look, because Ollie can come out and he's a best pass blocker. You come out in your 22, you spread out in an 11 or 12, and he could be the guy to block. He can got to come out, leak out for a play. There is just so much diversity in what we have. But with Willis, you're going to have to respect the run. You're going to have to respect the outs because of his arm. I like Tua. People don't like Tua. I think Tua is going to do well in Atlanta. That was what I had dialed up for him, for the right system and setup and framework for him. He obviously fell apart. He couldn't hit the outs. But now you got a guy who might not have as quick a release, but you're going to have to respect the outs. You're going to have to respect the deep, and you might have to play some spy, and the back end will have to slow its pursuit for the pull and go. There's just so much opportunity, but it starts with Proctor affecting that A and B gap, forcing the mic up, forcing certain techniques by the D front and the leverage and the first step out of respectability with Proctor, Kasmarek, and Paul. And then there's another stuff with Brewer, the way if you watch Brewer, and one of the reasons I complained about him is because he would have guys who couldn't move anybody, and he would go to his double, get attached, and get hooked and not get to the second level. Proctor will eliminate people. He's going to move men, and in a few years, he's going to destroy men. There's going to be very few people that are going. If you go check his bend out, it's ridiculous. When you watch him, he literally goes under and scoops and lifts. For a guy 6'7", just about, that is rare. Yeah. It's not Jonathan Ogden bend, but it's in that echelon. You're going to have to respect that man. And that will alter the front, alter the linebackers, alter the calls, alter the leverage, alter the cheating. It will all ripple out from there. And when you said about Willis, we're going to be a play action team that will run the football. He needs to take care of the ball, be judicious with it, take his big shots when he has it, protect his body. And ultimately, if we can do this, Achane won't find fresh defenses in the third and fourth quarter. He'll find beat up guys with Ollie and Wright slamming into enough times, and he'll come in against these tired bodies, and he'll be able to get those chunk plays and put those points on. Again, I'm not saying playoffs, but when you actually look at the pieces, the way it's laid out, and compare it to what was in the past, there is a plethora of opportunity. So
there's that word again.
Plethora. I think I looked up in the dictionary. I got to use it, man.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Wow, that was a great explanation. So in other words, he's going to add another dimension to this team. Not only the quarterback play, but also, as you mentioned, Caden Proctor, and you got Achane back there. Here's my let me turn this around a little bit. What are your concerns with this team? We'll do offense and then defense, and then we'll close out. What are your concerns with, or what do you have any concerns with this?
I got loads of them. Yeah, I got lists of them. So, okay, my first would be Bobby Slowick. When Bobby Slowick was with the Texans, he had one good year in the second year, and Chris Sims broke it down, and he talked about how the quarterback wasn't in control of the coverage of the protection scheme. He had the lineman call it, and there was issues there, and there was many breakdowns of the protection calls, and there was huge breakdowns from that. And Slowick got a little cutesy. He would dial up passes when the run was clearly in order. So Slowick, to me, is a major question. Not that he can't, but when you look at what was going on with Stroud was getting lit up like a Christmas tree, and he kept calling passes, and the protections were breaking down. Chris Sims, you can check it out. It's a brilliant breakdown of the situation. So when I look at Slowick, I'm a little concerned about his personality. He's seen, because I believe that as a caller or whatever, your personality comes through. You look at, like, say, Sean Payton. That guy's a nasty dude, but he's a ballsy guy, and you could see it expressed through it. You could see with Reed. Andy Reid's a quiet guy, smart guy, patient guy, but then he blows up. It's expressed through that. You remember Dorsey from the Bills a few years ago?
Yeah.
Uncontrollable, unhinged. So the personality gets expressed through the calls. And so I don't know where he's at. Then it's the right side. Jackson stinks. Jackson goes down. And then you got Savania. Yeah, you can have a great left side, but that right side, you've got to create diversity. That's one of the things that we got going here. So that right side, I like Salia. I'm big on Salia. I also like DJ Campbell. I don't know if he's going to be ready. He might need the oven for a year or two, but I like look at him. I don't think he could perform worse than Savania did last year. So there's opportunity, but that right side. And then what happens if Dulcich goes down? Or I hate to say it, Achane. It's football's a game of leverage. So you got a mobile quarterback now, and who can throw the deep outs. That's leverage. That's going to alter the perspective of the calls. But Achane he puckers up the keisters anytime he comes out there. When he is in the game, it alters things. If you take him out, then you're going to see a compression. You're going to see something different, because I do believe that he's going to get more involved in the pass game. I do believe you're going to see him. And so he's going to create that leverage. So injuries, Achane, injuries to Willis. I like Ewers, but Ewers is not going to bring the same kind of thing with the moving.
Sure.
So that would be on offense. On defense, this is a lot of new pieces. Juju Brents staying healthy, it turns this thing. Juju Brents is 6'2". He's a second-round pick. He is very, very talented, but he's made of paper mache. If he goes down, then what happens? Who goes out there? Well, is the Duck and the Bonner? Are they going to do it? Marshall, I like him in a second spot. Chris Johnson's going to have to feel his way. We really are kind of like thin at a nickel. Safety, I'm not too concerned just yet.
Yeah.
The linebacker, I feel really good back because when you're safety, you just got to man your spot. I'm a little worried that Trader could get beat over the top because he's not the fastest guy. You could set that with your pre-snap reads and being on point with stuff kind of like Zach Thomas did. But really the main concern is, one, if Juju Brents is not in there, there's a domino effect. And, yeah, you can mask it with your zone coverage. But then in the front, look, Chop Robinson. If he can't stop the run, he's not going to be much. I do like Achane, and there's the other guy we brought, and I can't remember his name. I always forget his name. But for me, the interior too, if you look at Zach Sealer, and I did a lot of film on this, when he's in the interior in the 1 and 2 gap and he gets double teamed, that hip always buckles, too tall. He's meant to be in that 3 and 5. If he's in 4 and 5 technique, he rock and rolls. And with Biggers, and you got, to me, Jordan Phillips is my man. I love this guy. I loved him when we drafted him. But you're going to have to get Grant to contribute. He is a 3 technique. He looks like a 0 and 1, but he is a 3 technique. So that interior has got to stay healthy so you can get Grant playing in that 3 technique and you keep Sealer outside. So there's concerns with injuries because there is a domino effect on the interior. There's a domino effect with the cornerback group. So that, and there's all the things too. But I think Hafley is able to mask some stuff. But that run defense is going to be critical. And it's going to start with that interior. And I think I love Sealer. I did film on Sealer versus Becton like 4 years ago, and he lit that guy up. Like he can go back to being who he was in that 3-4, mostly 4 and 5 technique. He could be a beast. So
yeah. I like Sealer as well. Yeah, that's a great breakdown, Curtis. I appreciate you coming on tonight, man. You saved the day with me because I've really been out of the loop. I've been trying to, pick up pieces here and there in how the team's been, going and everything. So I appreciate you for coming on tonight. And I know I'm going to have you on again several times 100%. Throughout the year if you accept. So I appreciate it.
I always do, man. Unless I forget. One time I forgot.
Yeah, but you've never let me down so far, so I appreciate it. And I want to thank everybody that joined the chat tonight. I really do appreciate it and being patient with me coming back and getting the show back up on air. I see Big Oats. Big Oats. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I appreciate you joining. You've been loyal to the show, I know. So I appreciate you in here. I saw Dolphin Thirsty was in here. 305 Sports. I think it was 305 Sports Babe, if I'm not mistaken, was in here. Not sure. But
yeah.
Anybody who joined the show tonight, I really do appreciate it. I really do. And just make sure you hit that like button. And if you're new and you're watching on another platform or wherever you're at, X, Facebook, Twitch, whatever, come over here to this YouTube channel over here. Look up Real Talk Fins Talk on the Fins Talk Sports Network. Hit that like button. That'll help me out. That'll get me back in that algorithm and back on track and everything. And I'm going to try to keep it every Tuesday or either every Tuesday or Wednesday. Look out for my show. Be around same time, 7:30, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 Central Time. Just look out for the shows. I'm going to try to be more consistent. I'm a little more settled now in my new relocation, my new home. So appreciate you. Curtis, thanks again, brother. And make sure you all check out Ace Per Head. Curtis on Ace Per Head. It's got a great podcast over there. Make
I'm
sure
going to
you
be working
check
with,
him
wait,
out.
I got actually something to say this time. I'm going to be working with
Go ahead.
Finn's Faith. I'm going to be on Finn's Faithful a lot. I'm going to be doing articles
George?
over there, maybe even a
Okay.
radio show and work with those guys, Jason and George. And so you can check me
Yeah,
out.
those are good. Those are great guys too, man.
yeah.
Jason and George for
Ace.
sure. And Finn's TV. Make sure you check out Finn's TV. There's a lot of great Dolphins podcast on here. So just check them out, and I'm sure there's going to be someone or some show that you're going to like. I hope you like this one, Real Talk Fence Talk. So I'm looking forward to you all joining me again too. So thanks again for joining, Curtis. Everybody else, remember, Dolphins #1, baby. Dolphins #1.